got the compassion and the merciful. Now we are going to tackle the result of the global competitiveness report that's issued annually. And then we are going to open a discussion after the session. And this report, of course, is always a controversial one that should be discussed. But I want to tell you that the results achieved are like not recent results. They are just reflecting on old results. So the results sometimes they are not that objective because they express opinions, but they present a trend that is adopted internationally, and it benefits the investment environment for any country of the world. So today I would like to say that the economic results that were achieved in the past 6 months or 7 months, even if they are positive, they are not reflecting this report. So we are going to start the presentation and then start the discussion after. Mr. Khaled Waheed, you have the floor to give us the presentation. We are going to tackle 3 points that have to do with the competitiveness, the key information on the competitiveness report, what is new about it, the index, the competitiveness index 4.0 for 2019, and the ranking of Egypt in this report for 2019. Yearly, we try to remind people with the competitiveness report. It is composed of the opinion poll, the official information and statistics like from the World Bank, from UNCTAD, but we depend mostly on the statistical data of the governmental institutions. The ECES is the partner of it in Egypt, and it is responsible for the opinion poll, and it is developed by the International Economic Forum, and the opinion poll is evaluating 9 factors, for example, infrastructure, information technology, and financial environment, and it's conducted on a group of countries, and these opinion poll results are used in all the reports that are issued internationally. The sample that we take is composed of different sectors that contribute to the GDP. The agriculture, for example, sector 11%, the industrial 23%, and the service 56%. And each sector is represented by a group of SMEs, and the sample has to represent the governorates of Egypt. 5 governorates in Upper Egypt, 7 in Delta, and Greater Cairo and Alexandria. Who is work on this opinion poll? This for the business men and it is the public servants do not have to answer for it. And we follow the digital method and the paper method. Digital, why? Because we have developed an application called Tracks that uses these questionnaires or opinion poll on the mobiles and on the computers, and the survey was conducted online or digitally, and it was 61% of usage of the digital method. And this is a better development because last year we were only 1% digital with respect to the digital usage. It is conducted each 3 months, 14 January, and we conducted it the 2 methods, the paper method and the digital method. We have 103 secondary indexes or indicators that include infrastructure, information technology, health, education, labor market, the size of the market, the dynamics of the work, and the size of the market. We group them into clusters, and we identify the competitiveness indicator. The weights, we have fixed weights for the 12 factors. It is 8.3. And we take into consideration the degree. The more it is, this indicates the improvement of the state. And the more the ranking is, this indicates the deterioration of the country or the state. We have new or slight changes in the methodology. The institutions, for example, we used to have a secondary indicator that has to do with the strategic trend of the government. It has now 4 sub-indexes, and we have added 3 sub-indexes. And this is to assess the adoption of the SDGs by the states. And with respect to the products markets, we have added some sub-indices and replaced other sub-indices because we were lacking some information. With respect to the labor market, they cancelled the participation of the female in the labor market, and it was replaced by the salaries or the wages taken by the female in comparison with the males. There's another change adopted. There were a group of secondary or sub-indices, and they were gathered in a group. They were put in clusters, and each year we change the number of the countries. Now, this year they were increased. Now we are 141 countries, and they represent 99% of the GDP and 94% of the world population. Sierra Leone was excluded, and we included other 2 countries. Each year we have differences or updates with respect to the questionnaires, with respect to information technology, the 4G technology. So we had 15 questions, 12 of which were cancelled, and we added new 7 questions. The new questions have 2 of them have to do with the AI and the big data analysis, and the cloud computing, and the giga economy. This giga economy is something that indicates the free economic activity, and it has applications on the internet like Uber and Kareem, for example. We conducted another update with respect to governance. We added a new question that has to do with the vision of the government. Is it a future vision or not? The last part, the detailed vision on the ranking of Egypt and in the competitiveness index, and the position of Egypt with respect to the 12 pillars, and the comparison between 2019 and 2017, 2018. The ranking of Egypt in the competitiveness index, we have been improved slightly. We are ranking now the 93rd, and the report, as we have said, includes the grade and the ranking. We have been improved from 93 out of 141, and with respect to the grade 0.9. Ranking of Egypt, or the position of Egypt in comparison with the Middle East for 2019. These are the 12 indices with the grades. These are the best countries. The best country with respect to the institutions is Finland, and with respect to the markets, products, is Hong Kong. Egypt, you're going to notice that the infrastructure and the size of the market, these are the best indices that we have. And 3% with respect to the size of market was an increase. And this is our ranking with respect to the indices, the infrastructure 52, and the best index of the size of the market 23. The best 5 or 4 countries, 33 countries among the best countries. If we compare Egypt with the countries of the Middle East itself, you're going to find an improvement. Now we are at 93 instead of 94, and since last year we have not developed, and chronologically wise in 2017 2018 we increased only one ranking in 2019. Unlike the Kuwait, Oman, they were improved clearly with respect to the countries of the Middle East. Position of Egypt with respect to the 12 indices, chronological wise. We have we're ranking the best in infrastructure and the size of the market. If we compare between 2017, 2018, 2019, we are going to find a slight improvement each year. For example, the institutions index, we have improved, but our ranking is still lacking behind. And with respect to the products markets, we have improved, but we're still ranking, our ranking is still not high. We are going to talk about the position of Egypt in the 12 indices, the institutions. We were 102, now we are 82. These are the 26 sub-indices that we have in the institutions index, and these are the best countries in all the sub-indices. We, in the center, we had a division between the sub-indices and that were ranked from 1 to 50, and the other sub-indices from 51 to 94 with a medium impact, and then the negative impact. So the 26, we are going to find that the responsiveness of the government was ranked very high, and the worst ranking was the terrorism and the freedom of journalism. If we look in detail to the best indices, this is a new market with no information or with no data. And we are going to find that the management of the rights of the investors, this is one of the improvements of 2019. And these are the medium impact indices, the public budget, this is one of the best improvements in comparison with 2018. And these are the indices that have affected negatively the ranking of Egypt. The terrorism attacks, the freedom of journalism, these are standstill indices. If we move to the next index, the infrastructure, we were ranking the 56, now we are 52. And these are 9 sub-indices, the best countries, and these are the results according to the classification that we conducted in the center. And thank God there are no negative impacts, but there are medium impacts that we can work on to improve. The quality of the infrastructure is improved. And we are currently ranking 28. If we look to them chronological wise, the infrastructure and the density of the railways per kilometers, and a slight improvement, and the quality of the electricity with respect to productivity as well, there is a slight improvement. With respect to the third index, the information technology, we are lacking behind a little bit. We were 106. And these are the sub-indices, and these are the best countries. Emirates have subscriptions of internet and high speed of the internet and the broadband. And according to the ranking of the centers, all the sub-indices affected negatively the key ranking index. And with respect to the internet subscriptions, the fiber lines, we are ranking the least.
If we look from a chronological point of view, broadband companies are steady. Internet broadband data is not really available. That's why we don't have data on 2016 or 2017. As for the fourth pillar, which is the stability of the macroeconomy, it's steady. It's the same. We have two different sub-indicators, inflation rate and the debt dynamics. We are ranked low on inflation. We are 136. So we moved backward. We moved one place down. As for the pillar entitled health, we moved from 99th to 103rd. The main sub indicator is life expectancy, and we ranked 1/3 out of 141 countries. We did better in 2018. As for education and skills, the sub indicators when it comes to digital skills, we are good, and the skills of graduates are the lowest sub indicators we scored in. When it comes to digital skills, I can say that we improved compared to last year. Also, the availability of well qualified staff witnessed an increase, but when it comes to the quality of vocational training, the ranking is pretty low. As for the seventh pillar, we improved from 121st to 100th. When it comes to service competition, we are among the best in our analysis here in the center. Also in the trade tariff, I have to say that we rank very low. From a chronological point of view, the green ones are the best indicators. As for the labor force, we were ranked 130th, and now we are 126th. The best sub indicator is flexibility in payments, and the most adverse effects came from female pay. Let me just clarify things here. This is a question in the questionnaire reading as follows. If you have a company, do you bargain, or do you have a structure for payment? So there is a structure for hiring and a structure for payment. That's why we ranked high. From a chronological point of view, we're doing also fine. Certain sub indicators are steady, and the income tax and the pay of female staff had adverse effects. Moving to pillar number 9, we moved from 99th to 92nd, and the stability of banks are doing really fine. But when it comes to formal capital, we're doing really low, and this affected the overall indicator. From a chronological point of view, safety or stability of banks is progressing, but the capital indicator is steady. As for pillar number 10, we moved one place up. We were 24th, and now we are 23rd. This includes two indicators, the per capita GDP share and imports ratio to the GDP. In the first indicator, we did fine, but we ranked really low when it comes to the ratio between imports to the GDP. If we compare that to 2018, then we will not find much progress. It's the same number. But when it comes to the ratio of imports to GDP, we improved, but still, generally speaking, it's a low ranking. As for pillar number 11, we move 2 places up when it comes to the different sub indicators listed on the screen according to the classification in the center. Remember, from 1 to 50 it's positive, and then it's moderate. So when it comes to the growth of creative companies, it's good, but we rank the pretty low when it comes to the cost of starting companies compared to the GDP. From a chronological point of view, the growth of startups are really witnessing an improvement. And also when it comes to the innovation of companies, we progressed. We had the certain indicators with adverse effects, like again the capital required to start a company. The last pillar, which has to do with innovation, we moved the 3 places up. There are 12 sub-indicators. We are doing fine on 4 indicators, like diversity of the forced labor, and this is a question in the opinion poll, like if you are a businessman, do you employ people based on their sex, gender and ethnicity? So we are ranking really high based on that diversity. So diversity is really thriving in the labor force. Indicators with moderate effect is like international publications. But the requirement to get trade marks is really lagging behind, and we move down 1 place. Thank you.